It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
The Kansas City T-Bones proudly present T-Bones Baseball on the Air. Members of the American Association of Independent Professional Baseball Clubs and home of fun well done. The T-Bones Broadcast Network is brought to you by Community America Credit Union, Austin's Trailers and Motorsports, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Price Chopper, Providence Medical Center, the Kansas Lottery, FlyKCI.com, Roma Bakery, Sheet Metal Local Number 2, and Kissick Construction. Now let's head out to the ballpark for the starting lineups and the first pitch with the voice of the T-Bones, Nathan Moore.
Game number 2 of a 3-game series between Kansas City and Gary Southshore. A wild, wacky game last night. Kansas City able to come from behind in the 9th inning to win. And walk-off fashion last night, a big win for Kansas City as the T-Bones was able to squeeze out a couple of runs in the bottom of the 9th inning, all starting with a leadoff double by Tyson Gillies. Down by a run, Brett Wiley trying to bunt the runner to third base. And then haywire erupted for the defense for Gary last night. 2 errors in the final play of the game. Kansas City scored twice on a walk-off infield bunt single from Brett Wiley. So the Kansas City T-Bones coming into tonight, 29-34. Gary at 32-31. Starting pitcher for Kansas City, Josh Hodges, 3-4 with a 4.59 ERA. He'll be opposed by Charlie Rosario with a 5.3 and a 3.27 earned run average. The Kansas City T-Bones about to begin the 5th game out of 6 on this 6-game homestand, and so far it's been a winning homestand, a record of 3-1 thus far through the first 4 games. Hoping those winning ways continue tonight. Thanks for tuning in to TBonesBaseball.com. The first pitch of the game is right there for a called strike, and the left fielder Cameron Newell is behind in the count, 0-1. It'll be Cameron Newell, Anthony Checky, and Chase Harris, the 1-2-3 hitters for Gary in the first inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and Hodges a bit outside, and the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Defensively, Kansas City has defended well so far in this homestand. They play in on the left side. Third baseman Sergio Leon is in with the infield grass. 1-1 pitch, broken bat grounder to first. Blackwood has it, and the first out has been made. Defensively for Kansas City, Brian Erie works behind the plate. Leon at third, Frias at short, Wiley at second, Blackwood at first. Outfielders left to right, the same as last night. Gillies, Massey, and Wheat for Kansas City, all behind Josh Hodges. Hodges making his 4th start of the year. In his last start against Lincoln back on July 21st, he did not get a decision. He allowed 7 hits, 4 runs in 5 innings. Kansas City would lose that game 11-7. Here's a seeing eye ground ball to the left side. It's a base hit into the corner and a 1-out double for Anthony Checky. So Checky, after getting ahead of the count, 1-0, sends a base hit down the left field line. And Gary has their first hit tonight in the first inning. Last night, kind of a completely different story, as Jordan Cooper had 3 perfect innings. He went 7 shutout innings before exiting in the 8th inning. So Kansas City will look for some of the same success from Josh Hodges here tonight. The Florida Marlins selected Hodges back in 2009 in the 7th round. Hodges spent 7 years in the Marlins organization, reached as high as AA last year in Jacksonville. Hodges made his American Association debut earlier this year with Joplin, where he went 2-4 and a 5.44 ERA before coming to Kansas City on a trade a couple of weeks ago. That was the trade that sent Brandon Tierney to Joplin, Hodges coming to KC. Gary on the other side will start right-hander Charlie Rosario. In his last start, back on July 22nd against Lincoln, he went 6 innings, allowed 5 runs on 9 hits, as the Railcats lost that game 7-6. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it caught the inside corner, and the count's 2 balls and a strike. Chase Harris, the young right fielder, batting .231. No home runs, 1 RBI. Kansas City hoping for a quick first inning out of Hodges, get that offense back to the plate. A crazy game last night. Kansas City scored first in each of the first 2 innings. A gigantic lead by Checky at second base, and he is not running. 2-1 pitch in the dirt, and the count's 3-1. Gary was pretty much lifeless when it came to any offensive output last night until they scored 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th to take the lead. That lead was short-lived, however, as Kansas City would win on a 5-4 walk-off. 3 balls and a strike. Hodges set, pitch on the way, and he chopped it foul off his foot. And the count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good Tuesday night crowd here at Community America Ballpark. It was a free T-Bones jersey giveaway, number 16 on the back of those jersey T-shirts. This year they are white with the oxblood number 16 on the black on the back of them. Hodges trying to work around a 1-out double by Anthony Checky. Defensively, not much of any shift to speak of. Outfield straight up. Pretty shallow in the outfield. This is a defense that will force Gary to try to hit it over their heads. They're going to play shallow most of the series. Runner goes. 3-2 pitch. Chopper right back to the mound. Hodges has it. He will throw to first. Checky aggressively ran around third base, but he will not advance home. And out number 2. So Harris really didn't mean to go around, but he chopped it right back to the plate, or off of the plate, right to the pitcher. And now 2 outs made in the first inning. That will continue the frame to the designated hitter, Frank Martinez. Martinez batting .240, 6 home runs, 30 RBIs. The shift here for Kansas City. Frias now will back into the hole at short. Wiley deep in the second base hole. First pitch outside at 89 miles an hour. And the count's 1-0. Kansas City took 2 out of 3 from Winnipeg. Took the first game of this series last night. A win tonight would guarantee themselves a winning homestand as Martinez takes another fastball outside, 2-0. 12 pitches so far for Hodges in the first inning. Get you the Kansas City starting lineup in the bottom of the first. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And it's outside again, 3-0. 3 consecutive fastballs not close to the zone, and the count's 3-0. And the catcher, Jose Gonzalez, is on deck. No Frank Duvall, one of their better average hitters, made a crucial error last night in the 9th inning that costed Gary the win. A little chopper back in front of the mound on a sacrifice by Brett Wiley turned into a disaster, and one play that Duvall will remember for a long time. Here's a chopper foul, full count 3-2. I would think when you lose a game in the 9th inning after securing the first lead of the evening in the 9th inning and losing the game on an infield 2-run bunt single, that will haunt you for some time. And for Kansas City, hopefully they can kind of stomp on Gary while they're down for the next 2 days. Try to get their first sweep of a very long time. 3-2 pitch, line drive, base hit, and Gary has the early lead. So a 2-out single by Martinez, RBI number 39. And Gary has their first lead of the game here in the top of the first inning. So falling behind, Martinez 3-0. Hodges then came with 3 straight fastballs, and Martinez, pretty good hitter, hit a line drive base hit to left. One hopped in front of Gillies in left field. So 2 hits already for Gary in the first. And we will see Jose Gonzalez for the first time this series. Pretty good power, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs. And the first pitch swung on and missed. Nothing but fastballs here in the first inning for the most part for Hodges. Wind blowing in, now kind of swirling toward left a bit, going right to left. Not much of a factor, significantly cooler again tonight compared to the weekend. 0-1 pitch and a swing and a miss. Fastball again, and it counts 0-2. Runner at first, Frank Martinez. He has given Gary the lead. Hodges trying to keep the deficit right there just at 1 run. Gary in their gray tops, gray pants, green socks, green helmets, green numbers. Same as they wore last night. 0-2 pitch and a check swing straight back for a foul ball. So Hodges is not making it easy at all on himself. He will be throwing his 20th pitch of the inning on the next delivery home. Kind of way too many pitches as you would like to see in the first inning. Once again last night, Cooper went 3 perfect innings and did 3 innings right around 28 pitches. Here's the 0-2 pitch and a popper foul, so the inning will continue. For Gary, it's a big thing for them when they can take some pressure off of their defense, take some pressure off of their pitching. Their offense has really been bad over the last 3 to 4 weeks. And a pickoff over to first, and easily back is Martinez. Last night, Matt and myself talked in great length about how Gary defeats the teams that they play. Walks, hitters counts, stolen bases, bunting. That's how they win. And Hodges trying to work around a 1-run first inning, and the fastball is high for ball 1-2. The starting pitching, for the most part, on this homestand has done their job. They have pitched deep into the game. They have really limited the amount of innings and batters faced that the bullpen has had to see. And another ball outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hodges already at 22 pitches in the first inning. It all started with a routine ground ball to first, a 1-out double, then a 1-out ground ball to the pitcher, and now another foul ball. Boy, so Gonzalez is going to knock Hodges out of the game much quicker with the continuing pitches he sees in the first inning. The defense would like to see something their way. Hodges comes set, works from the stretch, and another 2-2 pitch, and another foul ball. "24 pitches now here in the first inning. 2 hits in the inning, 1 run already in. Kansas City will see Charlie Rosario at some point here tonight. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball heading up the middle. Brett Wiley is there, steps on the bag, and the inning is over. So a 4 unassisted putout to finally end the top of the first inning. We will head to the bottom of the first inning. 1-0 Gary. T-Bones coming up after this on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The great doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
1-0 lead, Gary. Bottom of the first inning. Nathan Moore back with you live at Kansas City, Kansas, Community America Ballpark. Tyson Gillies, Brett Wiley, Tyler Massey scheduled to do battle here in the bottom of the first inning. The rest of the lineup for Kansas City: Blackwood, Gallus, Frias, Wheat, Erie, Leon for Kansas City. So the same exact lineup that we saw last night, except for the catcher's change. Here's a blast to deep right field, and Tyson Gillies has tied the game. 2 pitches into the bottom of the first inning. So Tyson Gillies, who had a really rough 3-game series against Winnipeg, has had a very good first 2 games against Gary. That pitch was absolutely hammered. And Tyson Gillies has put Kansas City onto the board, 2 pitches into Charlie Rosario's night. So a good start for the Kansas City offense. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Brett Wiley. Talk about the defense for Gary in a second whenever that defense is used. First pitch to Wiley is in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. Charlie Rosario, 5-3 record, 3.27 ERA. We have seen Rosario already this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Rosario throws a strike, and the count's even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rosario, not a guy with a ton of velocity. Pretty good control pitcher. Works usually down in the zone. More of a ground ball pitcher. 1-1 pitch and a good changeup. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I can't keep from talking about the wild ending from last night. When Brett Wiley, who was at the plate, was the guy who ran around the entire bases to win the game on a bunt single that was thrown away twice, unable for him to run around to win the game. This time, a strikeout. Rosario gets the first out of the night. Defensively for Gary, Gonzalez behind the plate, Davari at third, Medeiros at short, DeJesus at second, Crosby at first. Outfielders left to right, Newell, Checky, Harris for the Gary Southshore Railcats. First pitch to Massey on the way, and a line drive to the left field line. Base hit into the corner. Tyler Massey on his way for a double, and he will stand in there with the 1-out double in the first inning. So Tyler Massey picking up another clutch opportunity for KC to add another run. And just like Gary did in the first inning, Kansas City has come right back and scored 1 run, plus they've got 2 hits in the opening inning. So Jake Blackwood will come up. Jake has had a pretty good homestand, and the consistent veteran hitter that he is has been consistent again. Batting .275, 11 home runs, 51 RBIs for Blackwood. Hit a double in the first inning last night. And the first pitch he sees is a breaking ball in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. Blackwood will be followed by Gallus, who will be followed by Frias, the same order we saw last night. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Outside, a little bit low, and the count's 2-0. The wind now blowing in from left field directly toward home plate. The little bit of a breeze will not hold the power back of Jake Blackwood if he opts to hit one to deep left field. Outfield kind of shifted a little bit toward left, pretty deep. 2-0 pitch, back to the dirt, 3-0. So Tyson Gillies, 2 pitches into the bottom of the first inning, ties the game with a home run. 2 batters later, Tyler Massey goes the opposite way, plants a double down the left field line, and they are in prime scoring position again as Kansas City. Blackwood more than likely will have the green light if he chooses to use it. 3-0 pitch. Outside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Jake Blackwood, and that'll bring up another power hitter, Anthony Gallus. So Anthony Gallus will come up in a big spot with 2 on and 1 out in the inning. A little bit of a meeting between the shortstop Medeiros, the third baseman Davari, and the pitcher Rosario. Trying to calm him down after he's had a little bit of a shaky start. Obviously, so early in the game, Rosario shouldn't panic too much, obviously. The first pitch to Gallus is right there. Pretty good changeup for a strike at the knees. And the count is 0-1. Runner at second, Massey. Runner at first base, Blackwood. Kansas City has had 3 base runners on in the inning. Just 1 out against them in the first. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way. Gallus takes it into the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. 13 pitches for Rosario here in the bottom of the first inning. Gallus hitting exactly 200. 9 home runs, 25 RBIs. He's had a pretty good homestand. Had some big success against Winnipeg's pitching. Some big clutch hits as well. 1-1 pitch. A little blooper, shallow center field. Checky was deep, now comes in, makes the catch. About chest high and out number 2. It looked like that one originally off the bat might bloop in front of the center fielder, but it does not. And now 2 on, 2 outs for Vladimir Frias. So Vladimir Frias, shortstop for Kansas City, will look to add to his hits. He's got 2 hits for the team in the first inning. Base hit away from adding another run. We are tied at 1 in the bottom of the first. Kansas City looking for a larger lead. Here's the pitch and a check swing. Did Frias go? He did not. And the count is 1-0. 1-0 on Vladimir Frias. 230, 3 home runs, 24 RBIs for the shortstop. Switch hitting shortstop Vladimir Frias. This is an opportunity. Kansas City does not want to allow Rosario off the hook. And a fly ball right field. Harris is there. And Kansas City squanders a bigger opportunity in the first. They do take a run, however, as Tyson Gillies homers to lead off the bottom of the first. We head to the second. We are tied at 1 on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid. The familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
We head to the second inning. Nathan Moore back with you, live at Community America Ballpark, live in Kansas City, Kansas. T-Bones and Gary tied at 1. We'll see Alex Crosby, Albert Davari, and Andy DeJesus here in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike on Alex Crosby, first baseman, batting .250. 1 home run, 19 RBIs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a little line drive right to the second baseman. Wiley makes the catch, and out number 1. Good start for Hodges to begin the second frame. Meanwhile, at Kauffman Stadium, the Angels have the early 1-0 lead over the Royals. Royals making some headlines earlier today as the number 1 overall prospect in the organization, Raul Mondesi, was promoted from AAA to the big league roster. And to make that move, Kansas City then optioned Whit Merrifield back to AAA. So Kansas City promoting one top prospect and demoting another. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Albert Davari, and misses inside, 2-0. Davari batting .250, no home runs, 20 RBIs. If you think I'm saying the same numbers over and over, I promise you I'm not. Gary lineup, pretty much the same top to bottom. This pitch is low, ball 3-0. Hodges really has struggled so far tonight, and not necessarily with the runs or the hit column, but just really struggling in the strike zone. He's been all over the place. 3-0 pitch, that's a strike. Took a little bit off the fastball, and the count's 3-1. Hodges had a really good road trip. Had a couple of very good starts on the road. Trying to bring that success to the homestand, and this pitch is outside, ball 4. So that is the nemesis against a Gary squad. That is the first walk of the night issued by Hodges. And 1-on-1 out for the second baseman, Andy DeJesus.
The second baseman, number 1, Andy DeJesus.
It's the first time we have seen DeJesus for Gary this year. DeJesus, an infielder, 5'10", 170 pounds, from Indiana State, where he played collegiately. He is a rookie. He lives in lives in Indiana, so he is a local product for Gary. Waiting the pitch, and the pitch on the way. DeJesus does not take a pitch. Apparently there was a time that was called, but the home plate umpire, Tim Kramer, allowed nobody to know that time was called. So the first official pitch of the at-bat is now, and it is a strike. Fastball at 89. 0-1. Pitch number 34 there for Hodges. 1-1 tie, top of the second. Kansas City winning the first game of the series last night, trying to win the series outright tonight, and a chance for a sweep tomorrow night. Tickets still available for tomorrow night's game at tbonesbaseball.com, where you can purchase and print your tickets directly off the website. Fun, well done each and every night here at Community America Ballpark. Foul ball left side. Out of play, and the count is 0-2 on Andy DeJesus. Fans, the season, at least the home side of the season, is winding down. So if you haven't made your trips to Community America Ballpark, we definitely invite you to do so. Kansas City, after tomorrow night, will have 3 games against Lincoln, 7 games against Laredo. A combined total of 16 home games left in the season as DeJesus called strike 3. That is the first strikeout of the night for Hodges, out number 2. That will bring up the shortstop, Jared Medeiros. So Jared Medeiros will come up. Medeiros, a big hit last night late in the game. He is back to the number 9 spot, batting .239. Hodges trying to get out of the second inning, trying to get around the one-out walk. Pretty good size lead at first, not running, and the bunt is pulled foul, and the count is 0-1. Not a lot of pace again tonight. Not a lot of tempo. Both teams scoring in the first inning, but kind of a quiet night so far. The crowd has been somewhat kept silent for the most part of the game. Pretty decent crowd tonight as well. The 0-1 pitch and a foul ball. Right side out of play. 0-2 on Jared Medeiros. Hodges trying to have a much more efficient second inning compared to the more laborious first inning. Coming set, righty versus righty, and the pitch. And the fastball sails high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fans, don't forget, tomorrow night, it is National Hot Dog Week. 50-cent hot dogs all night, courtesy of Wimmers. There's no catch at all, so it is exactly what you hear. 50-cent hot dogs all night, brought to you by Wimmers. Foul tip in and out of the glove of Brian Erie, and the count stays 1-2. So literally, if you can eat hot dogs, you could come out tomorrow night, eat 4 hot dogs for $2, have yourself a meal, get yourself a beverage, and you could be just fine and dandy. Of course, parking is always free here at Community America Ballpark, so more cost-efficient way to enjoy your Wednesday night. After tomorrow night, our next game will not be until Monday, August 8th, where Kids Eat Free to the first 1,000 kids 12 and under. That is brought to you by Austin's. We had a Kids Eat Free Monday last night. Big swing and a miss, and Medeiros is down on strikes. Strikeout number 2 for Hodges, and a scoreless second inning. We head to the bottom of the second inning, tied at 1 on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Nathan Moore back with you live at Community America Ballpark, Kansas City, Kansas, where the Kansas City T-Bones look to win their 3rd consecutive game. They've won 2 out of 3 against Winnipeg. A big come-from-behind win last night. So the T-Bones are looking for yet another series win here at home this season. And they are hoping tonight is the night. Bottom third of the order, Dalton Wheat, Brian Erie, and Sergio Leon. The scheduled 3 hitters to face Rosario in the second. 7, 8, 9 hitters for Kansas City are due up. T-Bones scored 1 in the first. Tyson Gillies homered to lead off the bottom of the inning. Then Kansas City had a 1-out double by Massey, a 1-out walk by Blackwood, but unable to do any damage after that. Gallus and Frias each flying out in order to retire the side. Dalton Wheat, couple of more hits last night. Here's the 1-0 pitch and a pop foul to play. 1 ball, 1 strike. The young rookie outfielder from Emporia State in his first professional season, batting .319. No home runs, 17 RBIs. He had a big at-bat last night that I'm sure he would like to get another chance at. 1-1 pitch, a hard-hit ground ball to the shortstop. Medeiros fields it, and the throw to first is in time for the 6-3 putout. Last night, Dalton Wheat had the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th inning, and nobody out, and grounded into a 1-2-3 double play. Luckily for him and the Kansas City T-Bones offense, the T-Bones would then come back and score 2 in the bottom of the 9th to win in more of a crazy ending. It was the second walk-off win for Kansas City on the homestand. First pitch to Erie on the way, and Brian takes a strike. Tyler Moore was the starting catcher last night. Brian Erie back in there tonight. .286 hitter, no home runs, 7 RBIs. 0-1 pitch, broke his bat to the third baseman. Easy play for Davari, and out number 2 on a 5-3 putout. So very quickly, Rosario has 2 quick outs to begin the second inning, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Sergio Leon. Just 21 pitches so far for Rosario. He's been very efficient. Sergio, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, a 167 hitter for Kansas City. He has played very good at third base. He has really had to handle a lot of adversity this year. He's had to play some second base, some shortstop, and now a lot of third. And he has handled it well on the defensive end. Offensively, he has had his slumps like anybody else, but he has played very good defensively and has quite a good deal of range. 0-1 pitch, and he fouls it away, 0-2. 1-1 tie, bottom of the second. Game 2 of the 3-game series, game number 5 of a 6-game homestand. A win tonight would guarantee Kansas City a winning homestand, and a swing and a miss. He was way behind an 86-mile-per-hour fastball. Strikeout number 2 for Rosario, and Kansas City is down in order 1-2-3 in the second. We head to the third, tied at 1 on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Nathan Moore back with you live at Community America Ballpark, live in Kansas City, Kansas, with the T-Bones and Railcats tied at 1. And Anthony Checky's had a good offensive night, 2 for 2. 1-out single to right field. Cameron Newell flied out to begin the inning, a routine fly ball to left. Tyson Gillies pretty good range to track it down. So 1 on, 1 out in the third inning. That'll bring up the right fielder, Chase Harris. Chase Harris 0 for 1, grounded out to the pitcher, Hodges, for out number 2 in the first inning. Kansas City lined up in double play depth in the inning here, trying to get a ground ball, a chance for a double play. And a pickoff attempt over to first is not in time. Harris batting .214. Last night, Kansas City saw the number 3 hitter bunt last night with 2 on and nobody out late in the game. That happened in the 8th inning. We will see what Harris does in this particular spot. Here's the 1-0 pitch, way outside. Good block from Bryan, and the count is 2-0. Third inning. Runner at first, 1 out, and a big swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike on Harris. Gary, 32-31, 1 game over 500. Kansas City coming into tonight 5 games under 500 at 29-34. The T-Bones really needing a win here tonight. Try to win another series and keep that positive momentum going. Runner not going, another fastball that is missing high. 3 balls and a strike. Boy, Hodges is really having some issues with the control in the first couple of innings. A 30-pitch first inning, a much quicker second, however, still a walk in that inning. And already at 50 pitches with 1 out in the third. Short lead at first, 3-1 pitch, and a fastball strike, and the count is full 3-2. Chase Harris was so for sure that it was ball 4. He threw his bat to the on-deck circle and now has to get it. Now, that must be one of the more embarrassing things in baseball. When the hitter doesn't wait long enough to get the call from the home plate umpire and then assuming that a ball was a ball and a strike is a strike. In this particular point, Harris thinking he had walked, then has to retrieve his bat. It doesn't matter anyway. It's another walk. Right upstairs, the fastball. And Chase Harris walks anyway. So Checky to second, Harris to first, and once again, walks are the way to not beat Gary. 2 walks already for Hodges and 2 in the third innings. This is a team coming into tonight that's just batting just barely over 240 as a team. And that will prompt the pitching coach, Bill Sobey, to come out to have a word with his right-handed starting pitcher. Josh Tolles has returned to the Kansas City bullpen, and I'll tell you what, a night like tonight, Tolles might be asked to possibly pick up some extra innings if Hodges can't get his pitch count under control in a pretty quick fashion. So we will see how this mound visit, this pitching coach visit, will work to the benefit of Kansas City. Now, there's 1 out in the inning, first and second. You've got your cleanup hitter at the plate. Martinez is already 1 for 1. He has an RBI in the game. But you still can never discount a potential bunt by Greg Taggart and the Railcats. This is still a possibility, but obviously you would assume will not be a bunt. Runners go. Big swing and a miss. Throw to third, and it's late. A double steal that caught Kansas City sleeping. So Checky steals third. Harris steals second. It's a double steal. And now runners in scoring position all over the place, and a 0-1 count on Frank Martinez. So the Gary Railcats are right back into scoring position again here in the third. Everybody will back up on the infield. They will allow a run to score on a ground ball just to get out number 2. 0-1 pitch, ground ball to first. Blackwood's only play is to first, and run is in. It's now 2-1 Gary with the lead, but Martinez is out. He has driven in both runs in the game. And that double steal turns into a run for Gary. Jose Gonzalez batting .257. 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, 0 for 1 already tonight. He grounded out to Wiley to end the first inning. Each team scoring a run in the first. Gary now having their second lead of the night. Big swing and a miss, 0-1. Good off-speed pitch. How big was that walk again to help Gary in the inning? That walk forced the lead runner into scoring position. And then the double steal, easier to steal third than it is to steal second most times. And that walk, a big, big turning point again in an inning. Really helping the opposing team. The 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top of the third, 2-1 Gary. Hodges trying to get out of the third. Railcats 2 runs on 3 hits. Kansas City 1 run on 2 hits. Big swing and a miss. Back-to-back off-speed pitches, and Hodges escapes the third, but Gary escapes with the lead. We head to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Railcats on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The great doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
We head to the bottom of the third inning. Tyson Gillies a bunt back in front of the mound. Out at first on a bang-bang play at first base. So Gillies, who homered in the first inning, trying to catch him off guard with the bunt, and this time does not work on a 1-3 putout. And 1 up, 1 down in the third inning for Brett Wiley, who struck out swinging in the first inning. So Wiley, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, will be batting for his second time tonight. Trying to pick up his first hit of the game, batting .333, 5 home runs, 30 RBIs. And the first pitch he sees, a fastball right down the heart of the plate, and a strike is called. Kansas City, a golden opportunity to add to their lead in the first inning. Stranded 2 runners on base. They went down in a hurry, 1-2-3 in the second. And now 1 out, nobody on in the third. Wiley behind in the count, 0-2. Wiley, the highest batting average on the team. It's really not even remotely close. Here's a high chopper to second. Easy play for DeJesus, and Wiley is 0 for 2. 2 up, 2 down for Massey. who doubled on the left field line in the first inning. Tyler raised his average up to 287 with that double in the first inning. 6 home runs. Number 6 came on Friday night. It was a big one. 30 RBIs for the Kansas City T-Bones center fielder. Pitch on the way right down the middle, and the count's 0-1. Fastball at 88. We are closing in on 8 p.m. here at Community America Ballpark. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And just a bit low. Fastball at 89, barely missed. And the count is even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Blackwood to follow if Massey can get on base. It's a 2-1 lead, Gary. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a big swing and a miss and a changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another gorgeous night at the ballpark. Temperature just absolutely cooperating. Boy, it was nasty hot over the weekend. A smash into right field, sinking quickly, but Harris is there, and Massey is out, number 3. A 1-2-3 third for the starting pitcher, Charles Rosario, on inning number 3. We head to the 4th. 2-1 Gary on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn and Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn and Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
We head to the 4th inning. Nathan Moore back with you as Kansas City trails by 1. It's a 2-1 lead for Gary in the 4th. It'll be Alex Crosby, Albert Davari, and Andy DeJesus. Scheduled 3 hitters in the 4th inning. Gary 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. On the other side, Kansas City 1 run on 2 hits, and no errors in the game. Crosby tonight 0 for 1. He lined out to Wiley his first time up. This time a high pop-up on the infield. Sergio at third in foul territory makes the catch. And out number 1 here in the 4th inning. Gary, 1 game above 500. They are within striking distance of Lincoln in the American Association Central Division. Kansas City needing some good runs to try to put themselves in that position to make the postseason. Davari with a walk in the 2nd inning, making his 2nd at-bat of the evening. I'm going to assume that it's going to be one of those nights, and usually when I say it's one of those nights, it's because Matt is pretty close around, and with that, Matt Folks joins us here in the 4th inning. As this pitch goes all the way to the backstop, 2-0.
Just trying to get adjusted, Nate.
Hey, your headset
In more ways than one.
Your headset looks kind of normal. It looks like it's upright.
Yours doesn't look as fun tonight as it did last night.
No orange tonight. Here's a two-hopper to short. Frias all over it, and the throw over to first is in time. And Hodges, for the first time tonight, has 2 up, 2 down, and looks for a perfect inning here in inning number 4. So, have you downloaded Pokemon Go yet?
No, and I'm not sure why you keep asking me about it because wait, I need to pause because I cannot tell why. I have it, but I have never played it. It is for my youngest.
You have it though,
but I don't even know if he has logged out. I mean, I guess I could hand it to you, kind of like Charlie Boy did for you the other night, and try to find some for you.
He kind of ran all over with mine.
He got a few for you, didn't he?
Yeah, only about 20 or so. Andy DeJesus, 0 for 1 tonight. The 0-1 pitch is a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You want some cowbell, Nate?
What are you looking for? Do you know what you're looking for?
I do. Oh, we have a lot of cowbells here.
Yes.
Yes, I do know what I'm looking for.
The 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball outside.
I'm about to go old school on you.
Are you really?
I am.
Well, there's the stick mic. This one works really well. It does. It doesn't look good, but it does. But I don't know if you have a stand. 2-1 pitch, a high fly ball, playable in left field. Gillies near the foul line makes the catch, and Hodges has his first perfect inning of the night. We head to the bottom of the 4th, 2-1 lead for Kansas City on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn and Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn and Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Nathan Moore alongside Matt Folks as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Kansas City trailing by a run. It's 2-1. Now, Matt, explain to us what you got. Here's a shot to deep left center field. Might have a chance to drop. Never mind. Checky is there for the catch. He made a couple of nice defensive plays last night. And 1 pitch, 1 out for Blackwood in the 4th. 1 up, 1 down for Gallus to follow.
Well, Nate, I need to preface this by saying we have an outstanding audio-visual group. Zimmerman Productions is awesome.
Yes.
Okay? So I preface it with this, or that, but we have had bad luck with our headsets this year. Is that a good way of putting it?
That's an understatement.
And so I've gone old school. Although I'm sitting here holding it, I'm sure Red Barber at some point held a microphone.
You know, that would actually be pretty efficient. I mean, I hear you perfectly fine, but all you need now is a little stand. Here's a pop foul straight back. That was darn close to being in here.
It was the guide wire at the top. It pretty much hit it. So if that is 2 inches, 3 inches, it could come to us.
Your audio quality sounds fantastic. I might have to go old school, as Anthony Gallus is going to give Kansas City their second run of the night. Home run number 10, and the T-Bones are tied at 2. Do we give the glory to the hand microphone?
I think we could. We should. So I have an old stand at home. Maybe we'll bring it in. So yes, I'm using a handheld mic. And maybe we see if Devin and the boys have a stand over there somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, the first time I met Denny Matthews and Fred White back in 1992-ish, and really I think maybe today they use Macs on stands. Mics on stands.
Right.
I heard you earlier.
Oh, I
heard you earlier.
I don't know what I was trying to say earlier.
I don't know what I was trying to say there.
There's a little one-hopper picked with a third baseman, Davari. Nice defensive play to get Frias out. Frias is now 0 for 2, and then to bring up Dalton Wheat with 2 outs, bases empty in the 4th inning. I was trying to say an Indiana native, but I couldn't say it right. I was talking about Andy DeJesus. I remember what I was trying to talk about now, but yeah, I couldn't get it out. Almost like you trying to pronounce Gary's starting pitcher last night.
And who was that again?
Pinales.
Carlos.
That's what we should have done last night. Just called him Carlos. 1-0 count on Dalton Wheat. Here's the pitch, and a line drive, base hit into left field. Dalton Wheat has Kansas City's 4th hit of the game, and his first hit of the night. He's 1 for 2, and Matt, he continues to hit for Kansas City.
I talked to Dalton before the game a little bit, and he said, "Hey, let me show you something." He pulled out a bat, and he said, "This is a warped bat." And he rolled it on the ground, and sure enough, it was a warped bat, which you don't see many warped bats, but this was, and I kind of laughed. I said, "That's not what you've been using, is it?" He said, "No, I used this one." He said, "I was using the warped bat, and the more I kept these little dinkers and popping out," he said, "I looked at the bat and realized that it was warped. And so I got a new one." He said, I brought the new one out last night. So last night he had a single and a triple.
Yes.
And tonight he gets a solid base hit here in the 4th.
So he's batting over 300 with a warped bat? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I am. So he has the work gloves and the warped bat.
0-1 pitch. Brian Erie takes a strike, and the count's 0-2.
I don't know if there are many better stories on this team right now.
That's a good one. I still like the gloves.
Me too.
Gets the job done.
It does.
Rosario coming set. Runner bluffs the steal. Now back pick to first, and Dalton Wheat just barely gets back safely. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brian Erie. So Sergio Leon will bat next if Kansas City can get Erie aboard. We are tied at 2 in the 4th. Another home run. 2 separate home runs in the night for Kansas City. Gallus and Gillies have each homered tonight. And another throw over to first. Wheat dives back safely. Tonight feels like we're almost in October compared to what we were on the weekend.
Yeah, it's funny. It was about 90 degrees roughly today, but
there's a high fly ball. Routine in right center field. In fact, Checky, the center fielder, will make the catch. The second out he has caught in the inning. And Kansas City is done in the 4th. However, Matt goes old school. Brings out another mic Anthony Gallus reties the game, and we head to the fifth inning, tied at 2 on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Welcome back, Community America Ballpark, live in Kansas City, Kansas, alongside Matt Folks. Nathan Moore back with you as Josh Hodges returns to the mound in the fifth inning, and the game is tied back at 2. So tonight, Matt, unfortunately I can't hand you over the lead, but it's better than a deficit. To take you into the fifth, here's Matt Folks.
Thank you, Nate. And you gave me the lead last night.
Yes.
I gave it back to you.
Yes.
You squandered it. And then we got it back.
We had the epic walk-off.
We did. And I will encourage you here pretty soon, we're going to put that last play on our YouTube page. You'll be able to go watch that and listen to Nate's call of that play last night.
What would you give me on a 1 through 10 scale, with 10 being perfect? What would you grade it? I know you're a tough critic.
What?
Tough critic.
I am neither a tough critique nor a tough critic.
I want your critique because I know you are a good critic.
As this one's tapped into the Gary dugout. You know what? And here's the thing. It can be tough calling any play unless you've been doing it a while. And a bizarre play like that, I'm going to give you, and you and I listened to it about 4 times together today. As this pitch misses inside to Medeiros. Medeiros struck out back in the second inning. 2-2, top of the fifth, but I give you a solid, as here's a tapper right back to Hodges. The tall pitcher will throw to first for out number 1. And we'll flip the lineup now to Cameron Newell. I will give you a solid 7.
How did I think you were going to say that?
Because you've only known me a few years.
I'll take it. Because I pointed out one mistake that I caught myself doing last night, and I told you what that was.
And the mistake is what doesn't get you higher.
Yeah. Had I hit that point, maybe an 8?
Perhaps.
Okay.
It was, again, it was a tough play to call.
Well, something that we probably will never see again, and if we do, it might be during the summer and Little League stuff.
Well, the funny thing, I was talking to Brett Wiley's dad at that moment when that happened, and we were talking about Brett's dad coaching Brett when he was young, and his dad coached at the high school level in Indiana. As this one is lifted high into right field, Weed will drift over toward the warning track, Camponen, and pull it down for out number 2. But as we're talking about Little League, that play transpires, and the only quote unquote mistake you made, and this is what you're referencing, what we discussed today. You had Wiley sliding into third,
right,
and then he hops up. The ball, what'd you say? It's a slow roller to third. Sergio up with it. And a quick 1-2-3 inning, the second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. And we will go to break. And when we come back, we will be critics and critiques and everything else. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The great doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Welcome back to Community Medical Ballpark, Kansas City, and Gary tied at 2 as we head now to the home half of the fifth inning. It'll be Leon and back to the top with Gillies and Wiley. He is Nathan Moore. I'm Matt Folks. We are critiquing his call of last night's final play. And once this game is over, you can, before you completely log off the YouTube, you can find last night's game, tune into the last 5 minutes or so, and hear an exciting play. But so again, here's what happened. Tyson Gillies led off the inning last night, 9th inning. T-Bone's trailing by 1. Gillies leads it off with a double to left center. As this pitch is in there for a strike to Leon, who struck out back in the 2nd inning. The next batter, again, Kansas City's trailing by a run, so as this one's on the ground, backhanded by Davari, the third baseman, throws to first in time to get Leon on the 5-3 putout for out number 1. We go back to the top now with Tyson Gillies, but if you're going by the book, you would sacrifice bunt to move Gillies over to third. And you and I can debate this later on if we need to, because Frank and I talked about this at length earlier today when we were working on the video board interview, but arguably your hottest hitter's up in Brett Wiley, but Wiley put down a perfect sacrifice bunt.
Yep.
And the catcher fielded it, had plenty of time, but made a high throw that went over the first baseman's head and sailed toward the right field corner. Well, Wiley saw that and immediately took off to second, and I don't think he had any intention, as you watch it, as this one is lined sharply but foul down the right field side. I don't think Wiley had any intention of slowing up at second base.
No, I don't either.
He headed toward third, slid in safely. The ball went past. The right fielder made a bad throw. He got past the third baseman. Wiley hopped up and came in and scored. Winning run. This one's popped up. Should find the seats, and it does. About 4 rows back. A guy caught it with his hat. Now, of course, the momentum of the ball knocked the hat out of his hand, and thankfully it was in his hand and not on his head.
He sold it pretty quickly, too.
He did. He picked it up and held it up for the fans to see. I'm just thankful that he caught that with his hat in his hand and not on his head. But on the play at third, all Nate says is the ball goes by. Is that what it was?
Yep. The ball gets away.
Ball gets away. This is fouled down the first base side.
So if you're listening on the radio, does the ball get by the right fielder? Apparently it did, because I never said the right fielder made the throw back to the infield. But there's a lot going on. Obviously, if you listen to me for the last 4 years, I tend to get excited pretty quickly.
You do. And that's okay. Because if you've been listening, you know I don't get excited as this pitch is swung on a missed by Gillies.
Hey, you get excited sometimes.
I'm a harsh critic, as you say. Or harsh critique, either one. Gillies 1 for 3. He had the big home run back in the first inning. That will be strikeout number 3 on the game for Rosario. And with 2 outs here in the 5th inning, it brings up the second baseman, Brett Wiley. Wiley 0 for 2, struck out in the first inning and grounded out in the third. We're tied at 2 apiece, 2 runs 3 hits for the Railcats, 2 runs, 4 hits for Kansas City. But again, it's a tough play to call, and Nate did a great job calling that, and you want to go back and watch and listen to that. Again, we will put the actual video with the audio. Told you we have an outstanding AV crew here from Zimmerman Productions. Big swing and a miss. So we will put that on the YouTube later on tonight.
Well, that's a play that obviously you don't expect to see. It's a play that realistically we'll probably never, ever see again. But it was exciting because it looked like Kansas City had lost all the momentum in the world, was going to lose a great game that they had in store from the very first inning. And the disappointing thing that gets lost amongst the big win was Jordan Cooper got the no decision again, who was dominant last night, 7 shutout innings, gave up 2 in the 8th before he got an out, but he was dominant again last night.
As the next pitch swung on a miss. That was strike 3, but it's going to go back to the screen, and Brett Wiley is going to end up at first base. We saw that happen in reverse for Kansas City last night as the ball got through the legs of Tyler Moore. Was that last night?
It was, and that turned into a run, and that turned into be a big run. That was the second run of the 8th inning, and then, of course, 2 runs came in the 9th to give them the lead, so that was a big strikeout wild pitch.
So we'll see if Tyler Massey can capitalize on this for Kansas City. Wiley with his lead at first, 2 outs here in the inning. Rosario comes set, the kick and the pitch is tapped back to Rosario, and just like that, he will get the 1-3 put out for the final out of the 5th inning. So Kansas City will get a runner aboard with 2 outs, but Wiley will be stranded at first. We've played 5. We head to the 6th, tied at 2. Back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The great doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Hodges still on the hill for Kansas City as we go to the... I'm glad you don't have headphones in because you would have heard me hitting puberty at this point. We go to the 6th inning. Chase Harris, Frank Martinez, Jose Gonzalez here to face Hodges, who gave up a run in the 1st and a run in the 3rd. The big right-hander wheels and deals the first pitch to Harrison, swung on and missed. Change up at 82. Sergio Leon playing at the edge of the grass at 3rd. The rest of the infield is back as this pitch is blown away, dug out of the dirt by Erie.
Well, this will be a big inning for Hodges. You know, we talked about the 1st inning, and he was around 28 pitches after the 1st. He was around 55 after the 3rd. So he is coming up to 80, but if he can get through the 6 innings, get his team into the 7th without having to use an extra reliever, that'd be a great start after kind of a rocky start.
Well, we kind of joke about this with John Mazzarelli, but as this one's fouled back in the seats, but Maz will say his goal each night for the starting pitcher is for him to get the ball from the starting pitcher in the 7th inning with a chance to win the game.
Yep.
So if Hodges can get through this inning, he will have done what Maz wants him to do. Here's a broken bat. It sounded like as it goes foul, and sure enough, Harris will head back to the dugout and get a new piece of lumber.
Kind of an expensive game with bats. I think that's about the 5th or 6th one tonight on both sides that is broken. Did you get one of the T-shirts tonight?
Did not. Did you?
No, I like them. I like the white, especially. I mean, last year they were black, and this year the white. It's not nearly as hot. People would have loved the white a little bit more 3 days ago, but they'll still love the white the next couple of weeks as it continues to stay hot.
And they look good as we look around the stands and see a lot of white out there. On the field, the T-Bones in their black jerseys trimmed in ox blood and gold. The white pants is Hodges with the windup and the 2-2 pitch. It's down in the dirt. So the count full now to Chase Harris. Harris grounded out his first time up and then walked and was stranded at third in the third as the payoff pitch. Grounded back up the middle. It's fielded by Hodges, who will flip over to Blackwood at first for out number one.
That's the third separate putout that has gone 1-3 for Hodges in this game. And then if you want to look on the other side, Kansas City has done it a couple of times themselves. So rarely do you see that 1-3 putout as often as we've seen it tonight, but we've seen it 5 times already.
Well, the times we saw it in the 5th inning and this time, if the pitcher was not 6-7, it might have been a tougher play. But the 6-7 Hodges with no problem as this pitch is down low to Martinez. The pitchers minus Hodges worked on comebackers today, as a matter of fact. As this one misses along the way.
You always have to throw in those PFPs on occasion. As and the coaching staff does that at least once a week.
As this one misses outside. Well, we saw it in the Saturday night game against Winnipeg with Holman pitching. There was one that basically and Holman's 6'6", so it's not like he's a short man out there as this pitch misses, and it'll be a 4-pitch walk to Frank Martinez. That'll be the first base runner since one out in the 3rd inning.
The catcher, number 5, Jose Gonzalez.
That'll be the 3rd walk tonight, given up by Hodges. But Bill Sobey, the pitching coach, was working with the guys during their fielding practice, and when Holman got up there, they kind of joked about that one, that basically Holman just mistimed it as the ball ended up bouncing over his head, but that's what they worked on a little bit today, is throw over to first, but the runner back safely. Two to two, top of the 6th. Each team scoring in the 1st. Gary adding a run in the 3rd. Kansas City in the bottom of the 4th. Hodges, the righty, comes center at the belt. The kick and the pitch to the right-handed hitting Martinez, and it's high and inside. So we have one more game in this homestand tomorrow night, 7:05, and then some of us will be boarding the bus heading to Canada.
You got your passport already properly stowed away?
You know, I had to double check it to make sure it was still good, that it had not expired.
Which I'm assuming it was, or...
I'm pretty sure. I hope I didn't look at the wrong one or the wrong date.
We have multiple passports.
Well...
You know, on that trip to Guatemala you went a couple years ago.
Runner goes, pitches high and inside, throw down to second is not in time, according to umpire Cody Lowe. So a stolen base for Martinez.
I think Hodges was more upset than anybody that they didn't get the call, but looking at the replay, he did get that lead foot in, that right leg did swipe across the bag and tagged just a bit late, so it was a great call.
So the count 2-0 now to Gonzalez. And on the right side of the plate, open stance. Hodges comes set. A check of the runner now comes to the plate with it. And the off-speed pitch is high and away. So Hodges, after Walking Martinez on 4 pitches is now behind 3-0 to Gonzalez. 90 pitches now for Hodges, as pitch number 91 is ball number 4. So 8 consecutive balls thrown by Hodges.
Interesting that we're seeing Bill Sobey here and maybe not John Massarelli as 91 pitches by Hodges.
Well, there really has not been any action in the bullpen until just now. So they will scramble a little bit to get somebody ready. Bill Sobey will take his time getting to the mound, and then we'll chat with Hodges and Erie. Gary with runners at first and second, and again, I don't think we can say this enough. We've been saying this for years, and Nate said it earlier tonight. We talked about it last night, but again, this is a team that you have to be in the strike zone. They are not afraid to get 2 strikes. So they sometimes will take until they get a couple strikes. Of course, these pitches from Hodges at this point have not been close, these last 8. He got a quick out in the inning as he got Chase Harris to ground back to him, but 4 pitches to Martinez, 4 to Gonzalez, and now runners at first and second in this 3-3 game, as Alex Crosby will dig in now.
Well, that's how they can get away, Matt, just betting 240, because they get all those extra base runners because of walks. And it's because, just like you mentioned, they're not scared to swing with 2 strikes. They'll take a couple of strikes, they'll go down in the count 1-2, 0-2, and they'll still find a way to get on base. And most teams, when you bat 240 collectively as a team, you're not going to be very successful. But when you get all those extra base runners via free passes and hit by pitches, you can live with it.
As Hodges will fake a throw back to second base. We did see a double steal from Gary back in the 3rd inning.
It looks like Josh Tolles is the guy warming up.
We haven't seen Tolles in a couple weeks since his trip to Amsterdam with the Australian national team, as the first pitch to Crosby misses. Now let's just face it, at this point, I'm going to guess Crosby will have no intention of swinging until he gets a strike.
I think you're right. Why would you?
And why would you? There's ball number 10 in a row from Hodges. And again, not a close pitch, high and away to Crosby. Hodges with a long look in, comes center of the belt. Taking his time, here's the 2-ball pitch, and Crosby fouls it back and out of play. I was wrong.
Well, I was too. And once again, we have to remember, no offense to Gary, but the team name. And they sometimes do things unorthodox.
So a 2-1 count, and Hodges, again, more worried about the runner at second.
I am a little surprised you didn't mention nobody was really warming up at the time, but with a lefty at the plate, an opportunity to bring the lefty against the lefty, but some.
Here's a high chopper foul down the first base side, so now it's even up 2-2.
But after he gets the ground ball double play ball, it'll all make up for it.
Well, but again, at that point, nobody was warming up. We saw Tolles get up and start working quickly as Bill Sobey was meeting with Josh Hodges. So it's a 2-2 count with 1 out. 2-2 game, top of the 6th. Hodges, the righty, comes set. The kick and the pitch to Crosby. Swung on and tapped foul. Might have caught home plate umpire Tim Kramer as he will step out for a moment. And that would give Brian Erie a chance to go out and take his time, give Tim Kramer a chance to catch his breath. So the pace will go slower here momentarily.
Tonight would have been one of those perfect nights, if ever, to broadcast a game from the berm. Tonight might have been one of those nights.
And you know what? We as we think about just 3 homestands remaining, we need to find our date. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's tapped foul. So are you willing to do one behind the Community America sign on top of the scoreboard?
You know, we found this new system with these hand mics.
Yes.
I think we can find an XLR long enough where you can go to the top and I can be the reporter on the concrete on the bottom. Will that work?
Well, I thought you were going to say we just both take handheld mics up and have a producer engineer down below.
Oh, no.
That you were thinking that we don't need to carry the equipment to the top now. And I was going to applaud you for that. But
No,
that's not what you're saying.
I'm basically saying I think you would be perfectly spotted up there by the Y, and I could be perfectly spotted down by Danny's.
Here's a ground ball. It's going to end up in right field. A run will score for Gary, and they will take a 3-2 lead as the two walks come back and haunt Kansas City. Martinez comes in and scores, making it 3-2 on the RBI single by Crosby. Gonzalez holds up at second base.
Third baseman number 13, Albert Navarre.
And that's going to do it for Hodges. So after a quick out in the inning, Hodges walks Martinez and Gonzalez on consecutive balls. Throws two balls to Crosby, and then Crosby helps Hodges out before knocking him out. And Hodges will leave with his team trailing 3-2 here in the sixth inning. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we will have the numbers on Josh Tolles for you, the new pitcher for Kansas City, after this 2-minute break on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
I loved when the ice cream truck came around as a kid, the familiar music and the cool treats on a hot summer afternoon.
What's your happy place?
Have a Frosty Treats ice cream truck at your next corporate or private party. FrostyTreats.com.
Country Inn & Suites in Village West is the official hotel of the KC T-Bones. We conveniently share the parking lot with the stadium and offer access to the best shopping and entertainment. Enjoy a comfortable stay with top-notch services and amenities. Start your day off right with our Be Our Guest breakfast. Our exceptional service makes Country Inn & Suites the ideal hotel in KC for anyone traveling for business or pleasure. Stay with us on your next trip and we'll have you saying, I love this country. Book today at countryinns.com/Kansas City KS.
I loved when the
So with runners at first and second and a run across here in the inning for the Railcats. Josh Tolles, the lefty from Adelaide, Australia, will be in for Kansas City. 5'8", 178 pounds. Coming fresh off a couple weeks stint as he gets the first pitch fly ball into shallow right field. The runner, Gonzalez, will hold up at third base on a one-out single by Davari. Josh Tolles, coming fresh off a trip to Amsterdam with the Australian national team where they played in the hookah ball tournament.
Say that one more time.
Honk ball. It's much more fun to hear Josh say it in his Australian accent. What is not fun is seeing the bags full of Railcats here in the sixth inning with one out. One run is across. Andy DeJesus, the batter now. DeJesus fists one in the Kansas City dugout. After Josh Hodges recorded the first out of the inning, he walked Martinez on 4 pitches. Gonzalez on 4 pitches, gave up a 2-2 single to Crosby that scored Martinez. Tolles comes in and gives up a base hit to Davari, and now has DeJesus down in the count 0-2.
Well, 2 out of the 3 runs have obviously been aided big time by walks. Without the walks, 2 of the 3 runs probably do not score. We know for a fact one of them doesn't score, but it definitely helped aid them in the third.
Hodges kicks and delivers. Broken bat right back to Hodges. The bat went almost to the concourse. Hodges comes to the plate with it, and they'll get the force out. As the bat went to basically the 4 tops, as we call them, the tables behind the seats on the concourse. So that is what, Nate, about the 4th broken bat we've seen tonight?
Oh,
none that
least.
violent, that quick. DeJesus on with the fielder's choice. Gonzalez retired, 1-2 for out number 2.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder if that broken bat didn't slow down the process of a potential inning double play, because Tolles' eyes, you could kind of tell, he knew the bat was snapped in half. It was patrolling high into the air. Of course, it wasn't heading his direction, but still yet, you got to make sure that nothing is coming your way. And he took his time to make sure the throw went to the plate. They got the lead runner out there, but there's really no chance at all for the double play after that.
So 2 outs in the inning. Bag still full as the first pitch by Medeiros fouled into the seats. Josh Tolles, 4-3, 3.72 ERA. Last night we talked about the middle part of the defense. At one point was Tyler, and Tyler. First time in T-Bone's history. This might be the first time a Josh has turned it over to a Josh. Josh Hodges to Josh. You don't think so?
I think Josh is more of a common name. Not saying it's not more common than Tyler. I think Tyler's probably more common than Josh, but it only takes 2 of those, unlike last time it took 3 separate Tylers.
Which was impressive.
Yes.
As this next pitch is upstairs to Medeiros, and the count goes to 2-1.
And kind of impressive that you caught it, because I wouldn't have even really thought about it.
I'm into goofy things like that. As Tolles kicks and delivers, and this fastball misses somewhere at 85. Josh Tolles making his 16th appearance. 38 2/3 innings, 32 hits, 17 runs, 16 of those been earned. He has struck out 32, walked 21. As Medeiros goes after this one, drives it deep into the right center gap, and it's going to drop between Massey and Wheat. And that will clear the bases, giving the Railcats a 6-2 lead here in the 6th inning.
I know I said it once before, Matt. If you're going to walk this team, the chances of winning it is very slim. And, you know, obviously we know that Hodges, we know that the T-Bones pitchers aren't intentionally trying to walk the hitters, but you know, we're talking about a team that's batting 230, 240, no power to speak of, and when you constantly give them free pass, last night 4 of them coming in the 8th and 9th inning combined, and you've done it again tonight, you're helping a team that really is having a hard time hitting the baseball. But a lot of free runners, and they consistently make you hurt for it every time.
So 4 runs across here in the inning for the Railcats, and they have taken a 6-2 lead here in the top half of the 6th inning. The batter Cameron Newell now is big curveball, misses down low. 66 on that curveball from Josh Tolles. In case you're wondering how they did in Amsterdam, the Australian team, another big curveball. So Tolles has come with 3 consecutive curveballs to Cameron Newell. And the count is 1-2. So with that bases clearing double by Medeiros, we can close the book on Hodges. Another big curveball. Chopper toward Frias at short, who'll make the play at first for out number 3, but not before the damage is done here for the Railcats, as they will come away with 4 runs. They do it on 3 hits to go with a couple walks. There were no errors and 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Kansas City trailing at 6-2. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Jake Blackwood, Anthony Gallus, Vladimir Frias here to face Charlie Rosario, who went into the dugout with a tied 2-2 game. He comes out of the dugout with a 4-run lead. Jake Blackwood, 0 for 1 tonight as the first pitch paints the black on the inside corner for a called strike. So he closed the book on Hodges. He went 5 1/3, gave up 4 hits, 5 runs. Walked 4, struck out 3. Through 96 pitches, 55 for strikes. Blackwood reaches out, pulls the outside pitch over to short. And up with it, Medeiros over to first in time for out number 1. Brings up Anthony Gallus now. Gallus with a monstrous home run his last time up into the Gary bullpen. That, at the time, tied the game at 2 apiece. After a rough top half of the 6th inning, couple walks, 3 hits, results in 4 runs, and a 6-2 lead for the Railcats. The windup and the pitch from Rosario. Broken bat, grounded down to short. Medeiros up with it with plenty of time for out number 2. That time it was just a little sliver of the bat that went down toward third base. Unlike we saw in the top of this inning, that'll bring up Vladimir Frias now. Vladdy 0 for 2. Vladdy with a new walk-up song tonight.
How did you know it was new?
Well, new to him because we're on game 36, 37 at home.
It woke me up earlier tonight when I heard it.
Okay. Next pitch misses inside, and the count is 1-1 to Frias. Rosario suddenly seems to have a little bit new life on his fastball, as this one's tapped foul by Frias. Rosario at 65 pitches here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. A very efficient night for Rosario as pitch number 66 will catch Frias looking for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 inning Here on the ninth, that'll be the fifth strikeout for Rosario, and the third out here in the sixth. We go to the seventh. Kansas City trailing at 6-2. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Well, we're getting a new pitcher for Kansas City. We had talked about him an inning or so ago. And here he is. David Holman is on for Kansas City as we go to the seventh inning with the T-Bones trailing at 6-2. Holman has been a starter for the most part this season. This is his 13th appearance. He's made 10 starts. His most recent start came last weekend on Saturday night against Winnipeg. David Holman, 3-4, 5.46 ERA. He's appeared in 56 innings, given up 82 hits, 38 runs, 34 of those been earned. He has walked 24, struck out 21. He's given up 4 home runs, 15 doubles. That's most among Kansas City pitchers. And 1 triple. He has faced 272 batters, and they're hitting .345 against Holman. Holman, 6'6", 220 pounds, out of Spring Hill, Kansas. Went to Hutchinson Community College, and then Emporia State. Was drafted a couple times out of Andale High School and then out of Hutchinson Community College. Big swing and a miss. The Braves drafted him out of Andale High School. The Seattle Mariners selected him a couple times out of Hutch, and then he went to Emporia State and signed as a free agent with Seattle. Here's a big swing and a miss by Anthony Checky. Checky has scored 2 of the 6 runs by the Railcats tonight. He scored the first 2 for Gary as this fastball misses outside. David Holman's father pitched for the Mariners, as did his uncle. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's just a bit outside. He has actually lived here in the Kansas City area for a couple years. Here's the windup in the 2-2. It's a little bit outside. So Josh Tolles comes in and faces 4 batters in the 6th inning. And now here's Holman. The windup and the payoff pitch. Tapped in front of the plate. Holman will field it. Barehands it, throws to first in the nick of time to get Checky on the 1-3 putout for out number 1. That is the 4th 1-3 putout by Kansas City here tonight. And again, it's not completely uncommon, but it is somewhat uncommon to have 4 in a game. Brings up the right fielder, Chase Harris. Harris 0 for 2. Harris has gone back to the pitcher twice. He also walked and was stranded at third. Holman's 1-ball pitch is in there for a strike. So David Holman coming in relief here for the T-Bones. Here's the 1-1 pitch, just a bit outside. But Holman's parents had moved to the Kansas City area a few years ago, and he decided to follow them up here. As this one's a little bit too inside as it nicks Harris. So a runner aboard here in the 7th inning, and it brings up Frank Martinez. Martinez with an RBI single in the 1st. An RBI ground out in the 3rd. A walk and run scored last inning. He was the one-out walk that got things going, or started things downhill, either way you want to say it, for Josh Hodges. So he bats now with a runner aboard and 1 out here in the 7th. Digs in on the left side of the plate against the right-hander Holman. Holman a long look at first, now comes to the plate with it, and the fastball's upstairs. Chase Harris, the runner at first. As a pickoff attempt, the ball gets away from Blackwood. Harris is going to go to second, round second, heads toward third, and he's going to be in there safely with no problem at all. I was about to tell you that this is Harris's 4th game. In his first 3 games, he had not attempted a stolen base, and then, as I was about to tell you that, Holman throws over and throws the ball away. So the first error of the game tonight. And it's a big one, so it puts Harris at third base with 1 out. A 1-0 count now to Martinez. Six to 2, Gary leading it. Here's the kick and the pitch. Fouled sharply into the end of the Gary dugout. A couple of players were sitting down on the steps and scattered down into the dugout. Everybody's okay, so I can chuckle about it. Next pitch is way inside as Gary blocks it and keeps Harris at third base. Two and 1 Martinez, a .242 hitter. 6 home runs, 40 RBIs. The 2-1 pitch is lifted deep into center field. Massey gives chase. He will make the play, but that will score a run on the sacrifice fly by Martinez. So Martinez did exactly what he needed to do. After the error on the pickoff attempt, moved Harris from first to third. He will come in and score on Martinez' sacrifice fly. 2 outs, nobody on, in a 7-2 game now. Brings up Jose Gonzalez. Big swing and a miss. Gonzalez over 2. He walked last inning. Walked on 4 pitches from Josh Hodges. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Tried to hold up on a swing, but went around. So quickly, Holman ahead in the count, 0-2. Two outs here in the 7th. The windup and the 2-strike pitch, just a little bit outside. 79 on that slider from Holman. The kick and the 1-2 pitch is tapped foul. So one thing we're seeing right here, right now from Holman, which is actually a very good sign, and one thing that we do not see from start to start from him, He is working very quickly. He is waiting on Gonzalez as this fastball misses down low. Holman, as we've seen throughout most of his 10 starts this year, works very methodically. Tonight, that tempo has been raised. Chopper foul down the third base side. And again, you might be thinking, well, what's the big deal? The pitcher's working a little quicker. Maybe the game gets over a little faster. No, it's more, especially in a 7-2 game, it's more about keeping the defense alert, keeping the defense in it. Here's a curveball for a called strike 3 against Jose Gonzalez. So Holman will get a strikeout in the inning. That's the third out here in the 7th, not before Gary adds another run. They get 1 run. They do it on no hits. The runner Harris was hit by a pitch. Went from first to third on a error on a pickoff attempt, and then scored on the fly ball by Martinez. And it's now a 7-2 game. But it's stretch time here at Community America Ballpark. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811. Brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. In fact, the great doctors of Providence Medical Center are right down the street from the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Count on Providence when you need 24/7 emergency services, an accredited chest pain center, or specialized orthopedic and sports medicine services. Providence Medical Center is proud to be the official healthcare partner of the T-Bones. Learn more at providencekc.com.
So we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And I believe we have a new center fielder. There was a defensive change. And indeed, we have a new center fielder. Chase Harris is in center field. We'll see if we can get these defensive changes for you. Chase Harris has gone from right to center. We'll figure out who the new right fielder is here momentarily as the first pitch is upstairs to Dalton Wheat. Seven to 2 in favor of Gary here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Cameron Newell is now the right fielder, so we need to figure out who the left fielder is. Cameron Newell went from left to right. As this pitch misses outside to Wheat. Albert Davari will be the new left fielder, so now we need to figure out the third baseman. Davari goes from left, or from third rather, to left. As Wheat swings and misses at the 2-2 pitch. That'll be the 6th strikeout for Rosario in the first out here in the 7th inning. Andy DeJesus. See, it took Greg Taggart, the manager for Gary, a long time to explain to home plate umpire Tim Kramer. So now we need to figure out the second baseman as DeJesus goes from second to third. As here he goes after the first pitch and launches it foul on the right field side. Okay, here we go. John Holland is the new second baseman. The count's now 1-1 to Erie. Okay, so if in case you did not have your abacus out or your Captain Crunch secret decoder ring, let's go through this. I'll just tell you who is where now. In left field, Albert Davari. Chase Harris is in center as this one is launched to deep center. Harris has to get on his horse, and he does, making the play at the warning track right next to the Lynch Real Estate sign, right next to the 411 mark for out number 2 here in the 7th. So Davari in left, Harris in center, Cameron Newell is in right. Around the infield, DeJesus at third, Medeiros at short, Holland at second, Crosby at first. As Sergio Leon steps in for Kansas City. So DeJesus went from second to third. Davari went from third to left. Newell went from left to right. Harris went from right to center.
Congratulations, Tammy. Attention fans, it's time for the Element and Thompson 50-50 raffle winner. Tonight's
As Leon will be out and T-Bones will be retired quietly here in the 7th inning. The second consecutive 1-2-3 inning. We've played 7. We go to the 8th. 7-2 in favor of Gary. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The great doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Well, David Holman will basically get a bullpen session in here tonight for Kansas City as he gives up 1 run in the 7th inning. His night is done. And the lefty for Kansas City, the pitcher that the T-Bone signed yesterday, Tyler Ybarra. Ybarra appeared last night. Appeared a third of an inning. Had 1 strikeout. Faced 3 batters and got out of the inning. Kansas City signed Ybarra yesterday. A 6'2", 210-pound left-hander out of Wellington, Kansas. He spent the majority of a 6-year career in the Blue Jays organization. Although he did pitch for New Britain last season, Colorado's AA affiliate, in 38 appearances, all in relief last year. He went 1-0 with 3 saves and a 4.87 ERA. He allowed 48 hits and 25 runs and had a strikeout-to-walk ratio of 44-28. In 44 and a third innings, he struck out 44 at AA New Britain last year. Alex Crosby takes a big swing and taps it foul at home plate. So Ybarra, the 4th Kansas City pitcher tonight. Hodges started the game. And actually, Josh Hodges pitched pretty well through the middle part of this until went out in the 6th inning, and then he issued consecutive 4-pitch walks, and the wheels fell off at that point as this one's lifted into shallow left. Rios, the shortstop, will camp on it and pull it down for out number 1. That'll bring up Davari,
Third baseman number 13.
who last inning went from third base to left field. See, you step out for a minute.
Yeah, literally a minute.
And Greg Taggart, I think it took him longer to explain everything to home plate umpire Tim Kramer than it did for you to step out of the booth. But by the time you got back,
it was a disaster.
Well, your score sheet's a disaster, as this one's in there for a strike to Davari.
And basically, the home plate umpire Tim Kramer basically said, I don't care about where anybody else went. Just tell me who went out.
And that's what it comes down to, and that's one thing that we need to know. It's good for us to know from a scoring standpoint, as this one's tapped foul. But while I was looking at Maz's lineup yesterday, his lineup card that he takes to the umpires, and Maz had a couple of late scratches, late changes yesterday before the game. And so, I don't want to say he was flustered, but he was happy to have the changes made. And he showed me his lineup card, and I said, one problem, you might want to fix this before you go hand this to Cody Lowe and the boys. You have 2 second basemen. And he said, you know what? It doesn't matter. He said, for what you hand to the umpires, at least in the American Association, all they really need to see is who's the DH and where is he in the spot.
Yep. Batting order, the biggest thing. And
otherwise, it doesn't really matter defensively where anybody is.
Yep. And it doesn't matter major league-wise either. It's kind of the same way. As long as somebody doesn't bat out of order, and, of course, that still happens in Major League Baseball at least once or twice a year where somebody bats out of order.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Davari. Is right down the chute for a called third strike. So Ybarra will get Davari on a strikeout. We had just said the last season in 44 and a third innings, Ybarra struck out 44, and he has 1 in a third of an inning last night and 1 in 2/3 of an inning here tonight.
Matt, I think we're going to get to the point where Ybarra is going to be one of those guys who not immediately, he's already pitching in his second consecutive game, but it won't be long before more than likely we see him at the back end of the bullpen because his stuff is electric.
As this 90-mile-an-hour fastball is right down the chute for a called strike. Are you going to keep that bird out if it gets too close?
I thought about throwing a Pokeball at it. Sorry, it was a perfect opportunity, and I ran with it.
Oh, my. Ran right into the ground. As this one's tapped towards second, Wiley will take a couple steps back. Quickly fires it over to first in the nick of time to get DeJesus on the 4-3 putout for out number 3. So Ybarra comes in, gets a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Kansas City trailing at 7-2. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
It's always good to know that great doctors are close by. Providence Medical Group has offices in Bonner Springs, Basehor, Tonganoxie, Lansing, Leavenworth, and KCK. That's why we're the go-to community hospital in the region. If you're a T-Bones fan, count on the medical team that takes care of your team. The great doctors of Providence Medical Center, just east of the ballpark at 89th and Parallel. Learn more at providencekc.com.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
Charlie Rosario still in there with a 7-2 lead as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's going to be 1-2-3 for Kansas City. Gillies, Wiley, and Massey here to face Rosario, with Kansas City trailing it 7-2. This was a good, close game. A couple home runs here tonight for Kansas City until the 6th inning when 8 went to the plate for Gary. And they came away with 4 runs on 3 hits, a walk, couple walks. And that broke the game open as Gillies goes after the first pitch and will be robbed in center field on an outstanding diving play by Chase Harris. We have seen Checky with 2 great dives against Tyler Massey last night, and now the replacement center fielder, Chase Harris, with an outstanding play to rob Gillies leading off the 8th. And with 1 away here in the 8th, it'll bring up the second baseman, Brett Wiley. Wiley looking for his first hit of the night. First pitch misses outside.
I think what made that catch by Harris even much more special was he was shifted into right center and had to come all the way back to make a nice catch. And as you mentioned, we're seeing at least one of those highlight plays a night. And in this series, we've already seen about 5 of them between Harris and Checky.
One count to Wiley. Here's the pitch from Rosario and misses inside. Wiley in his last 10 games, batting .349. 15 hits, 43 at-bats. As this one misses low and inside.
Everybody clap your hands.
Wiley leading Kansas City with a .330 average. The kick and the pitch is low and inside for ball 4. So Wiley does not get a hit here in this at-bat, but he will be on base for the second time here tonight. He struck out in the 5th inning, but on the pitch that got by the catcher Gonzalez, Wiley ended up at first base.
Well, whereas Kansas City has used 3 separate relievers in this game, 4 separate pitchers, Gary still has their starter out. Still nobody warming up, and that was pitch number 81. So Rosario continues to be highly efficient despite that walk to Wiley.
And that's just the second walk of the night given up by Rosario as the first pitch is inside to Tyler Massey. Massey doubled in the first inning. And really in that first inning, you kind of had this feeling that this could be a good night offensively for Kansas City. We've seen Rosario over the last couple seasons and really one of the toughest pitchers against Kansas City. So when you see Gillies lead off the bottom of the first with a home run, strike out by Wiley and then a double by Massey, you think, hey, this could be a pretty good night offensively against Rosario for Kansas City. But a couple flyouts after a walk to Blackwood ended that first inning. And really the only other noise Kansas City has made was a 1-out homer by Gallus in the 4th inning, as the catcher Gonzalez will go out and chat with his pitcher as the pitching coach will now come out as well. But Rosario, after that 6-batter inning in the first, retired Kansas City North the next 2 innings, gave up a home run and a single in the 4th. And again, you kind of had this feeling, hey, maybe this home run, this base hit, Kansas City starting to get Rosario a little bit. Then he comes back and strikes out 2 in the 5th inning. Strikes out another in the 6th, and a perfect 6th, a perfect 7th. And now here in the 8th, a runner aboard with 1 out. 2-0 the count to Massey, who's in on the left side of the plate. A slightly open stance. Rosario, the righty, kicks and delivers, and it's lined into right field. But coming on and making a diving play is going to be Newell. He'll throw to first, trying to double off Wiley, but Wiley will dive back safely. And we have seen 2 outstanding defensive plays in this inning. And it's funny because this is a good defensive team for Gary, and that's really what makes last night so strange, because Greg Taggart's teams usually good defensively. Now this year, area-wise, Gary has one notch below Kansas City in the defensive standings. Kansas City with a .972 fielding percentage. Gary 971. But we have seen some outstanding defensive plays, which is what makes the two-error final at-bat last night such a strange sighting from a Gary Southshore team. Counts 0-1 to Jake Blackwood. Kick and the pitch, swung on, popped up. No great play is necessary here as the second baseman Holland will drift back Camp Hunter and pull it down for out number 3.
Congratulations to the team.
So Rosario faces one over the minimum here in the 8th. We go to the 9th. Kansas City trailing at 7-2. We're back after this on the T-Bones Broadcast Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
Heathwood Oil Company was the first independently owned oil company in Kansas City, and they're now one of the oldest continuously family-owned oil companies in the Midwest, featuring Citgo lubricants. With a current bulk storage capacity of over 250,000 gallons, they have the products you need. Let Heathwood and Citgo design a Citgo lubricants program to reduce cost and increase production. Call 913-321-1764 or email sales@heathwoodoil.com. Heathwood and Citgo, your lubrication specialist since 1926.
We go to the 9th inning. Kansas City trailing at 7-2 as we hit the top of the 9th inning. I'm Matt Folks. He is Nathan Moore. And as Tyler Ybarra comes back out for his second inning of work, we will turn it over to Nathan Moore, who handed me, I will admit.
Thank you.
He handed me a tie ball game. I am giving him a 5-run deficit. You thought you were so cool coming back last night, giving up the lead, getting Kansas City to come back in the bottom of the 9th, get a walk-off sacrifice bunt. So I'm turning it over to you tonight to see how cool you are. See if you can come back from 5 runs down, Kansas City trailing 7-2. And here's the voice of your Kansas City T-Bones, Nathan Moore.
You know, Matt, I will admit we have had 2 walk-off wins in this homestand already.
We have.
The T-Bones have scored 6 runs in the previous 9th innings in the previous 4 games. Combined total of 6 runs in the 9th. 2 in 3 separate games in the 9th inning. So had you brought it a little bit closer, I would have had a lot more optimism. Not saying I'm not optimistic we can't score 5, but had it been 3 or 2, I would say, hey, just go ahead and give us the win. We'll take care of it. But you make it a little bit more difficult tonight.
Well, I needed to challenge you a little bit.
Ground ball up the middle, fielded by Frias, throwing off balance, and Jared Medeiros is the first out of the 9th inning on a nice defensive 6-3 putout, and 1 up, 1 down for Cameron Newell. Kansas City this year, when they do not score first, they are 15-13. However, when Kansas City trails after the 7th inning, just 3-27. So we'll see if we can change that here tonight. Lefty-lefty matchup with Newell. And Ybarra's first pitch is way outside. 1-0. His velocity has been consistently right around 92 miles an hour. And if he continues that up, matching him alongside of Evan DeLuca out of the back end of the pen as a lefty specialist, boy, Kansas City might have added a big-time weapon late in the ball game. This pitch outside 2-0.
Back-to-back 92-mile-an-hour pitches that time by Ybarra, but you're right, and especially to see Ybarra right before Mark Haynes, for instance, or, depending on the situation, a possibility of Ybarra picking up some saves.
Possibly.
When Haynes needs a night off.
just barely foul on the third base line. Leon was diving into foul territory and almost fair. It counts 2 balls and a strike.
91 on that fastball, and Newell was about a day and a half late.
And it'll be interesting to see what the coaching staff does with Ybarra, because he's got the stuff, at least from what we've seen in 2 nights, to be a back-end guy. He's got high strikeout numbers, like you've already mentioned, basically 1 strikeout per inning pitched. He has a strikeout tonight. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and a fair ball this time to the left field line. That'll be picked up by Gillies on the warning track. It's a 1-out single by Newell, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Anthony Checky. Or Holland, rather. So Holland batting for the first time in Checky's spot. We saw Holland in yesterday's ball game. Another lefty-lefty matchup. We'll see if maybe Kansas City can get a possible double play ball. And Shuttlesworth has pitched pretty well in the back end of the bullpen since he was moved out of the rotation. So Kansas City has some options. Unfortunately, 1 hit tonight with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. A 2-run or a 2-out, 3-run double. It kind of blew the game open a little bit. Kansas City's offense has been quiet since the 4th. They've had a couple of scoring opportunities, but they have not scored since the Anthony Gallus home run in the 4th. 1-0 pitch to call it strike outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Holland batting .316, no home runs, 2 RBIs. Kansas City with a 7-2 deficit in the top of the 9th inning. Game 2 of a 3-game series. The T-Bones won last night, and if Gary holds on to this lead, the rubber game will be tomorrow night at 7:05. 1-1 pitch is fouled away, and the count stays or moves on to 1 ball and 2 strikes. But we know at worst, with Kansas City already winning the series against Winnipeg, winning last night, this will be at worst a 500 road trip. Kansas City obviously would like it to be better than a 500 road trip or homestand.
You were just sitting here wishing you were going to Winnipeg tomorrow night.
1-2 pitch, breaking ball, strike 3 called. Out number 2 in the 9th inning. So Holland is 0 for 1, and that'll bring up the right fielder, or now center fielder, Chase Harris. You know, it's one destination that, you know, take away the length of travel, which really, you're going to find out it's not really 12 hours. I think the story is it's 12 hours. I think if you MapQuest it from here, it's closer to 10. On a bus, maybe closer to 11. But it's depending on how quick you can get through customs. How quick can you get through that gate? And obviously, if it's quicker than a 2-hour stint that we've had sometimes, then it's not really that bad of a travel.
And I'm assuming that they haven't found anything on me yet.
Well, I hope
because
not.
Of course, they send, the team sends a list of who's going early.
Right.
My name, from what I understand, was on the list.
It would have already been flagged if there was a problem.
And maybe they'll stop me at the border and say I can't cross. I don't know.
That would be a problem. 1-0 pitch is a strike, and the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. At that point, I don't know. Steve Schuster will have to jump back and forth.
Well, Mike Kickham asked me earlier today, so when are you going to get me up in the booth?
Oh.
And so maybe he could just do it for me when he's not pitching. He's pitching one of the games in Winnipeg. Maybe he could do the radio the other 2 nights.
1-1 pitch, a bit outside, 2 balls and a strike. Now, we've had some success with some players that it's helped us out. Casey Barnes, last year when he was hurt, helped us out. A couple of years before that, we had Trevor Coleman.
We did. And Justin Bass, of course.
Of course, he's always a...
And, lest we forget, you had Kelly Mazzarelli on. And I think she enjoyed it and did a good job.
She was on in Gary. I do remember that. It was the final road trip of the year.
She's making this trip, from what I understand, so maybe she could fill in for me.
That's a possibility. I don't know if she would be comfortable doing the entire play-by-play. However, we'll find out maybe. High chopper to second while he thought about first or thought about second. Good decision not to. He went to first And the inning is over on a 4-3 putout. Kansas City, another scoreless inning out of the left arm of Ybarra. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Kansas City needs at least 5 to stay alive in the game. Back after this, the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
At Community America, we're redefining wealth. It's time to focus on what really fills our lives with meaning. The experiences and relationships that define who we are and what we value. At Community America, what matters to you matters to us. Because when you have financial peace of mind, you can live life to the fullest. Make today wealthy.
No matter how large or small your digging project may be, no matter how urban or rural, you must always call 811 before any digging project. 811 is our national one-call number, alerting your local utility companies to come out and mark any lines they have near your dig site. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811, brought to you by Common Ground Alliance.
Welcome back here to America Ballpark, live in Kansas City, Kansas. Alongside Matt Folks, Nathan Moore with you in the bottom of the ninth inning. Kansas City trailing Gary 7-2. And the T-Bones will have Gallus, Frias, Wheat, Erie, Leon, Gillies. I'm assuming we're going to get to all 6 of those here in this ninth inning. Kansas City needs at least 5 to continue to play. They need 6 to win it without moving the game into overtime here tonight. And to try to go the distance, Rosario is back out of the mound. He is just shy of 90 pitches, so he will try to throw a complete game here tonight. See if Kansas City can knock him out of the night or knock him out of the game, and Gallus takes the first pitch strike, which I can guarantee you was not 43 miles an hour.
Probably not, no.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another broken bat. Ground ball to short. Medeiros has it over to first, and the first out of the ninth inning has been recorded. And Kansas City has dwindled their chances now down to 2 outs remaining.
Now, I will tell you, since I think there is a chance of coming back in this game, I will tell you that Gary has gone to extra innings.
Yeah.
15 times this season. That is 24% of their games.
That's insane. That's a lot of extra inning games.
Well, and here's the thing. Their pitchers have thrown 34 more innings than Kansas City's pitchers.
Yeah, because of that, obviously.
So there is a chance that we could go into extra innings tonight.
Well, if we do, that means Rosario is going to get hit hard here pretty soon or lose control. The bullpen of Gary doesn't scare me, nor should it scare the T-Bones. Well, we will see. Obviously, you have to have a couple of base runners to give yourself a chance. The 0-1 pitch to Frias is a late swing and a miss, and the count's 0-2, and not a good swing at all from Vladdy. And now he is at the mercy of Rosario.
And Rosario now at 90 pitches. That fastball is about 88.
0-2 pitch and a high pop-up. Shallow left field. In comes Davari, and it is the left fielder, old-time third baseman in the game, to make the catch. And 2 up, 2 down, and Kansas City is going quickly in the ninth so far. We'll see if Dalton Wheat can stop that. Another hit tonight for Dalton Wheat. His average is over the 315 mark where it came into tonight. He's at 320. 17 RBIs, and the way the lineup is for Kansas City, he's at where he really needs to be in this batting order. But the way he is hit, you can see him playing a lot higher in a lot of orders, but this time he does not get another hit. It is a blazingly fast inning. In fact, it was a 4-pitch inning for Rosario to end the ninth inning on a perfect 1-2-3 inning. Rosario has a complete game. Gary improves to 33 and 31. Kansas City falls to 29 and 35. As Hodges takes the loss, he falls to 3 and 5. Rosario improves to 6 and 3. There was no save of the game as the final score goes to 7-2 in favor of the Railcats here tonight. Tomorrow night, Kansas City will turn to Jared Messer in hopes to try to win the series outright. He'll be facing a former teammate in Richard Castillo. Messer, 3-1, 4.05 ERA. Castillo, 3-3, with a 3.28 ERA. The expected starters in Winnipeg on Friday night: Mike Kickham, Jordan Cooper, Josh Hodges, in that order for Kansas City, coming up this weekend at Winnipeg. Tough loss for Kansas City, a team that scored one in the first, one in the fourth, a tie game going into the sixth inning. That is when Gary struck for 4 earned runs in the sixth inning, 3 of those charged to Hodges, a couple of walks in the inning. Very, very costly. In fact, Hodges walked back-to-back hitters on 8 consecutive pitches out of the zone. Both of those walks turned to be big, as Kansas City allowed 4 in the sixth and gave way to the big loss tonight. 7-2 final in favor of the Gary Southshore Railcats, who came back after a disastrous loss last night. Kansas City, you would have felt coming into today, with all that bad taste still in the mouth of Gary, they might have been a little bit in a losing hangover tonight. That did not transpire, as Kansas City unfortunately could not come back from a big, big sixth inning. For Matt Folks, I'm Nathan Moore saying so long from Community America Ballpark. We're back here tomorrow night at 7:05 with the gates opening at 6 p.m. We're on the air at 7 tomorrow night. Tickets available for the game at tbonesbaseball.com. We hope to have you and your family out here with us tomorrow night. It's been great. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. You've been listening to the Kansas City T-Bones on the T-Bones Broadcasting Network.
This game on the T-Bones Broadcast Network was brought to you by Community America Credit Union, Austin's Trailers and Motorsports, Budweiser, Coca-Cola, Price Chopper, Providence Medical Center, the Kansas Lottery, FlyKCI.com, Roma Bakery, Sheet Metal Local Number 2, and Kissick Construction. Tune in online all season to the T-Bones Broadcast Network. Click on the Watch Live or Listen Live buttons at tbonesbaseball.com. T-Bones Baseball, that's fun. Well done.